Okay, we're here. Yeah, I gotta get my stuff together here, guys. You know how it's going on, right? Anyway, it's time for our daily bread, and then we'll come back with the somebody said the liberal thoughts of today, but they're not liberal. I'm more of a centrist. I mean, sometimes everybody makes sense, and sometimes nobody does. We'll be back.
Oswald Chambers said, "The prayer of the feeblest saint is a terror to Satan." Our daily bread. Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by James Banks. They call it the Devil's Footprint. It's a foot-shaped impression in the granite on a hill beside a church in Ipswich, Massachusetts. According to local legend, the footprint happened one fall day in 1740, when the evangelist George Whitefield preached so powerfully that the devil leaped from the church steeple, landing on the rock on his way out of town. Though it's only a legend, the story calls to mind an encouraging truth from God's Word. James 4:7 reminds us, "Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." God has given us the strength we need to stand against our adversary and the temptations in our lives. The Bible tells us in Romans 6:14 that sin shall no longer be your master because of God's loving grace to us through Jesus Christ. As we run to Jesus when temptation comes, he enables us to stand in his strength. Nothing we face in this life can overcome him because he has overcome the world. As we submit ourselves to our Savior, yielding our wills to him in the moment and walking in obedience to God's Word, he is helping us. When we give in to him instead of giving in to temptation, he is able to fight our battles. In him we can overcome.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from James chapter 4, verses 6 through 10. But he gives us more grace. That is why Scripture says, God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. That's today's scripture reading from James chapter 4, verses 6 through 10.
Dear Lord Jesus, help us to do your will today. Help us to always stay close to you and to love you by obeying you. In your name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
And of course, we pay homage to all of our armed forces of the United States of America, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and Coast Guard. Did we leave anybody out? Merchant Marines. It's time to rise and shine, people. You're wasting daylight, and it is daylight outside right now. It really is. It's daylight. A lot of things on the agenda this morning. Well, as long as you're hearing these songs every morning, the national anthem and and the military thing, that means we're still American. We're hanging on by a string. Alrighty then. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. We got it. We got it. I feel it. Okay, we got it. We got it. We got it. I mean, don't want to overdo it now, do we? No, we do not. Anyway, good morning. Well, I look at my my screen here, and somebody's stealing fireworks right now. I mean, really? And there are a lot of things to steal, but fireworks. I mean, come on, come on, come on. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let me get that out of there. But again, why are we stealing fireworks? I mean, there are a lot of things to steal, okay, but you don't really have to steal fireworks. I mean, if you're gonna steal something, grab you some meat or something from the store if you're hungry or something like that. But don't, I mean, but only grab bologna, okay? Because the judge may look he may look repentant upon you if you still in bologna. But if you still in steak, you know what I'm saying? If you still in steak first thing in the morning, I mean at the store, he's not going to be too forgiving of you. I mean, if you're going to steal something, steal because you're hungry, then bologna is a good place to start. I mean, it doesn't cost much. Somebody will probably pay for the bologna for you, but I'm not going to pay a steak for you. Now, you don't need a steak. Steak is for the people with money. Okay, I mean, no, I'm just saying. But and fireworks, who's going to feel sorry for you stealing fireworks? I mean, really, who is? Really? Okay, I'm just saying you might want to do that, but whatever. You may want to reevaluate the things that you steal because it just doesn't make sense to steal fireworks. I got you. And did anybody hear about this? I just, the 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 evidence that TV is playing too big a role in our lives is what these people did the other night. Okay, that's what it's what they did the other night. They yesterday, a couple days ago, they went in. I think it was in Pike Road. They went in, took a car, took a car and drove it into the windows of a gun shop and went in there and evidently stole some weapons. Now, I thought you would only see that on TV, but evidently, people are, people are looking at TV as if it's reality. Now, like the guy who stole the fireworks. Well, he stole all the fireworks, but don't people realize we got cameras all over the place, and we may not find you right away, but sooner or later we're gonna find you, and your license plates are showing. So I mean, really, okay. If let me give you a hint. If you're going to use your vehicle, okay, if you're going to steal something with a vehicle, make sure it's somebody else's vehicle. not yours. Okay. That way they won't find you as quick. Now they'll still find you. They'll still find you, but it just won't be as quick. Okay. I'm just saying. So you might want to, y'all might want to think about that as the day progresses. Okay. Anyway, good morning to everybody. Hope this day finds everybody well. You know, it is a great day to be alive, but more importantly, it is a great day to be on top of the ground, and the ground, of course, is not on top of you. So that's always, and like I always say, there's no such thing as a bad day. There are just some things that happen. There are just some things that happen bad in the day sometimes. Okay, but you get over it. Life will take you through changes. But you know what? I want you to think about this for a second. If your whole life was nice, there was no hard times. I mean, every day was sunny outside. Well, it's kind of like living in Honolulu. Because when I lived in Honolulu, you know, it never rained, and it rained sometimes. But here's the thing about the rain in Hawaii: when it rains in Hawaii, it rains on one side of the island. So if you want to get dressed, I mean, if you want to get dry, then all you have to do is get in your car and go to the other side of Oahu. Okay. And it's not raining. Okay. That's how nice it was. It was too nice over there. Okay. Too nice. I came back here because I got tired of seeing Aloha shirts during Christmas. I mean, I'm used to cold weather during Christmas, you know, and the big red Santa Claus and all that stuff. Yeah. It just, so my point is this: if life is too easy for you, you will never appreciate the victories. You just, so Bruce Lee said, "Never pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to make it through it. Not easy, because easy, okay, easy don't make you strong. Okay, easy don't make you strong. Um, and I was telling, okay, I know I hate to go here, but I got to go here because these are lessons of life. My son the other day was complaining about doing push-ups. Uh, when everybody messes up, I said, well, yeah, but there's a benefit to push-ups. He said, what? It makes you stronger. So it may seem like discipline to you. It may seem unfair to you, but at the end of the day, the more push-ups you can do, you know, the the stronger you get. Okay, I'm just saying you might. So take advantage of what you got. Anyway, let me give you the weather for the day because it's going to be. Right now it's 76 degrees outside. Feels like 77. Today temperature forecast is nearly the same as yesterday. Today it's going to be high of 90 degrees, a little bit cooler. Cloudy with occasional showers this afternoon. High around 90. Winds west southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and a chance of rain today. 50%. So just keep that umbrella somewhere in the car. 50% chance of precipitation tonight. Scattered thunderstorms, and it's the 1st of July. Scattered thunderstorms, and after midnight, low 73 again. Light and variable. Okay, tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 2nd of July. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 91 degrees. So the weather, I mean, 91 is not. It's not too bad. I mean, it's okay. So you'll be all right with that. Now, let me give you the precipitation. We got a 45% chance all day long today. The pollen, which I don't really know what the pollen count is all about, but it says it's moderate. Air quality, it is good. UV is extreme at a number 11. I guess that means you need to put on some what's that stuff y'all be putting on? I mean, I don't need it. Whatever that stuff y'all be putting on at the beach and all that stuff, you know, so the sun won't get you. So let me get this right. Again, so you go out in the sun because you want to get brown, and then you put on something so you can't get brown. So I don't understand that. Okay, so you go out to the beach to make sure that you get a tan, but then you put stuff on to make sure you don't get too tan. Okay, I'm with you. I don't ask me how much sense that makes, but okay, you know. And of course, today it is the average for today is 93 degrees. So right now we're a little bit below average. The low on this day for January the 1st is 73 degrees. So that's back in the day, and that was in a few years ago. Okay, I'm just saying. So moving right along to other things. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day outside. But I always say any day above ground is a good day. Okay, there's no such thing as bad days. Just sometimes the bad gets with you. Okay, uh, I'm looking at something. I'm wondering why we can't seem to get why we can't seem to why we cannot seem to get the things that we ask for out of our legislature. Really? Okay, I don't want to hear that, but we got that. Uh, why we can't seem to get uh, what we want from the legislature? I can't figure that out. And when I ask that question, because smokable hemp product is now illegal in Alabama after a judge denied the last year's effort to stop it. Um, Montgomery, Alabama. Much of the House Bill 445, the bill that reshapes Alabama hemp industry, is now effective as of July the 1st. That's today. After a Montgomery Circuit Court denied a last ditch lawsuit that would have temporarily stopped its implementation. In part, the bill bans all smokable products and heavily restricts the potency of consumable products like gummies and drinks. The lawsuit was seeking to temporarily restrain the order, which was denied following the hearing on Monday afternoon, which was yesterday. The two-sentence order does clarify the interstate commerce of the hip product is allowed in Alabama, meaning that if someone is selling a product coming from Georgia to someone in Mississippi through Alabama, that is allowed. Well, that's pretty nice. A lot of Alabamians are going to be oppressed by this. He said that I just don't think it's constitutional by any means, said Trenton Garman, the political director of Alabama Cannabis Coalition. Now, I don't really know what cannabis is. Well, actually, I had Macmillan tell me what cannabis is. It's kind of like marijuana, but it isn't as strong. Okay, it's not as strong, and therefore we can smoke it. Now, why you want to smoke it, I don't know. I mean, why people want to smoke stuff that makes them high, I don't have a clue. I mean, why do you want to? Because you know how you know how cannabis and alcohol makes you high? What it does, it stops the oxygen from getting to your brain. Okay, so think about that for a second. You feeling good because your brain's going on the dumb side. Okay, even if it's only temporarily, it's going on the dumb side because you're losing oxygen. Alcohol does it, cannabis does it, marijuana does it. It affects the brain. I mean, how can you be happy like that? Especially when you don't even know where you are. Money gets you what you want in this world. Well, that's true, but this is the only world that we have. Okay, I'm just. I mean, again, like the lottery. Everybody I know, I'm gonna do a survey. I got to do a survey, a poll today. Everybody I know wants a chance at a lottery. I mean, we want to spend $1 a week or $2 a week, $5 a month, whatever we want to do, and try to win the lottery. I mean, that's all we want. We don't want gambling. We don't want uh, all that gambling stuff. We don't want casinos. We don't want any of that stuff. The politicians want that, I guess, so they can go in there and go around their back and get a handful of money, like somebody did a few years ago. But we don't want that. We want just a lottery. All we want is a lottery. I don't know why we can't get a lottery in the state of Alabama. Well, okay, I do know why. I do know why. Because our legislators do not work for us. Now they work for somebody. Okay, they do. They do work for somebody, and they don't work for us. So the next legislative session, I think we should all get signs and ask our people, who do they work for? Okay, that's what we should do. We should ask the people who supposedly work for us. We should ask them, who do they work for? Because it is not for us regular people. Okay, I'm just saying it's not for us. I mean, I don't know because if it were really for us, if it were really for us, we could we would have a lottery. So they don't work for us. So I just don't know. It's kind of it's kind of weird. But who? I mean, somebody can ask Barefoot. I'm just talking about the Montgomery people, the Montgomery um, people. Why can't we just get a lottery? I mean, honestly, I mean they've been begging for one forever. And yesterday, now somebody sent me a note this morning says which liberal. Wait, how did Bud put this? What liberal thing you're going to talk about today? Listen, I'm not a liberal, but I am reasonable. I am reasonable. The problem with conservatism sometimes is that you think you look good by sticking to your guns regardless of what the situation is. A tree that will not bend will do what? In strong winds, a tree that will not bend will do what? You know you know what it will do. It will break. It'll break. Okay, so it's reasonable. It is reasonable not to use these poor people who over here trying to make a living. It is reasonable to give them some dignity and don't go around at their work sites putting them in handcuffs. It's just reasonable not to do that. I mean, and that's not a liberal status. That's not. I mean, just think about it. You're working. You're not breaking the law. You doing work. I'm not picking potatoes. Okay. I'm not picking cabbage. I'm not picking watermelons. I won't do that. It ain't gonna happen. I'm not going. I love me some watermelon, but I will not at all pick them. So if we have people who are willing to do, but that's not the only job I won't do either. There's a couple other jobs. Now, if I'm really, 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 really hungry, who knows? Sometimes we got to change our attitude and do what we have to do. But I'm saying I'm not gonna pick watermelons, okay? And I'm not picking cabbage, and I damn sure not picking cotton. So, so somebody got to pick it. Somebody's got to do it. Oh yeah, and berries and carrots and all that stuff. I can't do it. I mean, I tried working in the cotton factory one time in Rome, Georgia. I lasted like 3 hours. I had to go. I just couldn't do it. Matter of fact, I don't know why the slaves didn't have one hell of a revolt back in the day, because that's some hard work and it's hot. So I'm just telling you, I think we ought to find out who families own them slaves and sue them. let's sue for them. I mean, that was some hard work to have to do, but I'm gonna leave that alone and keep moving. Both your parents pick cotton. Okay, but see, when your parents pick cotton, they pick cotton because I guess they wanted to. Nobody asked the brothers if they wanted to pick some cotton. You just put them out there in the field, put the taskmaster's whip on them, and then we pick the cotton. I'm not picking cotton. So if we got people that come to America that are willing to do it, okay, then I forgot my phone thing here. I forgot about that. Okay, we'll get that going in a second, because I want somebody. I mean, somebody has got to have an opinion about this. Okay, they just got to do it, because I can't. So anyway, but it's okay to be reasonable with people, because, say it again, because it is the right thing to do. Okay, it's the right thing to do. We don't want to just go around throwing people in jail who are doing jobs that Americans think they're too good to do. I mean, that is what it is. I really don't like it. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, that's just not the country that I serve. When you go around and rounding people up like cattle, I just don't like that. Not even a little bit. Nobody asked me. Nobody really asked me though if I was interested in nobody asked me if they could do it. They just did it, and so I don't have anything to do with that. But if it were up to me, we would not do that. We just would not do that. I mean, immigration. And listen, can I be honest? Can I be honest? We got a little prejudice stuff going on here. Okay? We are a little biased in America. We still are. I mean, they it took them 200 years almost to sort of uh, you know give the brothers some respect, and so I realize now we don't want to give the Mexican people any respect. I mean, I realize they came over here and broke the law. Okay, I realize that is breaking the law, but at some point you have to be humane about the way we treat people. And I'm just not. I didn't say be liberal either. I said be humane about it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Just be humane about it, and let's take care of that. Okay, let's stop treating people that way. I don't like that. Okay, so Dr. Joe, I understand that your parents pick cotton, and if it were up to me, I wouldn't make them pick the cotton. No, I wouldn't. No, but it's not up. It wasn't up to me, so I'm good. But it's all right to pick cotton if that's what you want to do. But we don't have anybody in this country almost want to pick cotton. So if we do, I don't really care about the prices of tomatoes going up, about the prices of onions going up. I don't like them anyway. Except I don't care what a watermelon is going to cost. I'm going to buy me at least one per summer. I'm going to buy me at least one watermelon because I love watermelon. Although I haven't had any in a couple of years, but I love it. I was trying to grow one, but then the dog went back there and did his business on it. So I kind of gave up on that. I mean, I can't believe the dog just went back there and did his business on it. Okay. Which another thing, we're talking about dogs doing their business. Okay, I'm going to get on some of those serious in a minute, but talking about dogs doing their business. I'm planning on running for city council. But you know why? You know why I'm planning on running for city council? Because there's just one ordinance that I want to get passed in this city. Did anybody know what that ordinance is? I've talked about it for years. Anybody know what the one ordinance is that I want to get passed in the city of Montgomery? Yep. Okay. We all have experienced this. When you see people walking down the street, they're walking down the street and they got their ugly dog with them. Okay. And all of a sudden, you see the dog hike his leg up and drop his business in your yard. Okay. I think that ought to be a $200 fine. It ought to be. Panhandlers too. We're gonna get rid of the people who drop their ugly dog. But it's okay to walk your dog. I got no problem with walking your dog. But can anybody out there think of the worst disrespect that you can do to a person? You walk by my house and you let your dog drop his load in my house at my park. Is that not that's like giving you the bird, giving you the finger. They don't even know me. What they letting their dog poop in my yard for? So when I run for city council, we are going to try, because the city council can't pass law unless he gets a majority of the votes. Okay, but any city councilman that wouldn't vote with me on that ordinance doesn't really care about you. Okay, they don't really care about you. They care about themselves. Okay, I'm just telling you. So we need, if you're gonna walk down the street, you're gonna walk down the street with your ugly dog. You need to carry a pooper scooper with you. Okay, that's the sole reason I'm going to run for city council. So we can. It may not be the sole reason, but it's going to be a big reason why I'm running for the city council. Okay, because we need to stop this disrespect. That is the height of disrespect to us. I mean, I can't handle that. Enough of that. Okay, we need to stop that. So when I run for city council and I get on that esteemed body, the first thing I'm going to do is the pooper scooper law. Okay, pooper scooper ordinance, where we catch your ugly butt doing that. And all somebody's got to do is now, but take a picture of them. Everybody's got a phone. Take a picture of the guy or the woman that's letting their dog poop in your yard, and then we'll find out who they are, and then we'll give them a fine. Okay. Or if the police go down the street and they see you walking your dog and they don't see you with a pooper scooper, they're going to fine you. Because let's just face it, if you're going down the street, or if you don't have a plastic bag and plastic gloves so you can pick it up and put it in the bag, same thing. Whether it's a pooper scooper or you scooping it, we don't care who gets it up. But do not do that in people's yard. I've been talking about this for 30 years. And the city council has yet to do anything about it. In Dallas, Texas, yeah, that's the law over there. You cannot let your ugly dog, and it's always the ugly dogs that do it. Little bitty ugly dog, ugly mutts. And you know what? Okay, you know why I'm so adamant against this? You know why I can't stand this? Because when I was coming up in Indiana, South Bend, as a matter of fact, if anybody ever been there, I in the wintertime, it snows, right? It snows in the wintertime. And what happens is that the poop and all that stuff goes under the snow, and especially in the fall when there are leaves on the ground. So one day I decided, Mama had us rake up all the leaves and put them in a big old pile. So I said, oh, right on. So I was going to go out there and jump in the pile of leaves. Well, no, it wasn't that. I went out there and jumped in the leaves. And guess what was all on me when I stood up? Yeah, you got it right. Somebody had brought their ugly dog to the house and let their dog do their business in our leaves. They got leaves at home, okay? But no. They wanted to do, and so ever since then, I have been traumatized about jumping in a pile of leaves. Okay, it's like it's PDD, okay, post-traumatic dog doo-doo, because I'm scared to jump in the leaves now. Okay. Don't. I used to like playing with the leaves, pick them up and all that kind of stuff, pick the leaves up. Yeah. We can't do that anymore because we don't know what's in them. We really don't know. Kind of like the marijuana now, everybody's smoking and everything. You don't know what they're spraying it with these days. I mean, somebody said they were spraying some of it with strychnine. They've been spraying marijuana with all kinds of stuff, and because they cut it so not that I know anything about it. They cut it with all kinds of stuff, baking soda and all kinds of things. Trying to take a $5 bag and make it a $40 bag. And the only way you can do that, put a little flour in there, put a little flour in, because it's all white. Why can't you? That's cocaine. Never mind. Well, you can put something in the marijuana. Okay, you can put something in marijuana that's got to be clear though. Okay, maybe you can put a little vinegar in it. I don't know. You can put something in it though. Spray it with Raid. I don't know whatever they do. But anyway, so that's my thing. That's my thing. I mean, does anybody disagree with me that we need a pooper scooper ordinance? Seriously. I mean, we okay, here in my 521-2963, if you totally disagree with me, because I just don't know how anybody could disagree with that. We need a pooper scooper order. So when I get on the city council, I'm telling you something. Now, we don't have a city council race till 2027, so I could change my mind about getting it. If they'll pass, okay, here's the deal. I live in Marsha Johnson district. Now, Marsha, if you don't want me to run for your seat, come up with the pooper scooper law, and I'll leave you alone. Okay, because if I run, I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna win because I have the charisma, the knowledge, and the stick-to-itiveness to get the job done. I don't give up. Okay, and I have the negotiating skills to get somebody from the other side to agree with me. Okay. So, but Marsha, if you, in fact, put the pooper scooper law in, at least try to get it passed, I'll leave you alone. So if anybody down there sees Marsha Johnson, tell Elk Dog, that's my other name. Elk Dog said he'll leave her. He won't run if she puts forth a ordinance. Okay, whether it passes or not, well, we'll see. But we need a pooper scooper law. Okay, that's all I'm just saying. So if anybody see Marsha Johnson out there, because I live in her district, I did live in what's the other lady who just won a couple of years ago? What is her name? She got mad at me for asking about the Whitehurst case. on the radio one day. I don't know what she's getting mad at me about, but I like her still. But they got mad at me. So Marsha Johnson, somebody get the word out that I live in her district and I will run against her and I'll beat her. And there ain't no doubt in my mind I would beat her. But I'll leave you alone if, in fact, you get the pooper scooper ordinance. Whether or not I want you to put it forth. Now, if it wins or not, I'm not going to hold you responsible if the rest of the city councils are not that bright. Okay, I hope I won't hold it against you. So tell her that the Elkins said that he's going to run for her seat if, in fact, they don't put forth a pooper scooper law. Because I'm getting tired of seeing these ugly dogs go around pooping in other people's yard. And what gets me, why don't you just walk your ugly dog in your own yard? I mean, why do you walk in? I mean, just think about that. Why do you walk in somebody else's yard, to drop your business? Okay, and if you're gonna do that, then pick it up and take it with you. I don't get that. I mean, that is the height of disrespect. I got some other things to talk about too. Trust me, I do. But this is a big deal to me. It's been a big deal for 30 years. Okay, I'm just thinking, why would you do that? Really? I mean, seriously, why would you do that? Why would you insult me and give me PTSD about poop? Because like I got when I was a kid, jumping in the leaves, and the dogs had pooped all in the leaves, and so when I got up, it was poop all over me, and I've been traumatized by that for a long time. So I don't want to go out in my yard and see the dog left his calling card, you know. And one day I went to the store and I bought a taser because I was going to tase that ugly mutt, okay, and the owner too if I had to. But they never came back. They heard about me. Yeah, because I was going to tase their dog and the owner. If right when he picked his leg up to drop his business, I was going to shoot him with the taser. And trust me, he will never poop in my yard again. Okay, because I think that's like assault and battery on my grass. Okay, I'm just telling you, assault and battery on the grass is a capital offense to me. And with your doo doo, we're gonna poop. We're gonna tase you. Yeah, we're gonna tase you. Okay. Oh, and one other thing too. Talking about tasers, I've been watching a little couple YouTube videos about policing and about they always talking about we'll drag you out your car. Um, is that illegal? Just to say you won't drag me out my car and you're gonna drag me out? Not in Montgomery. I haven't seen that much in Montgomery, although there have been some people who ought to be dragged out their car. But they and then they bust your glass if you won't roll down the. I mean, is that legal? You can just bust people's glass. I mean, just because they won't get out the car. I don't. I don't know. I don't. That seems kind of unfair to me. I mean, what if I'm scared of you, the police? Seriously, and there are people who are actually scared of police. When I was coming up, and the whole one of the problems with the Whitehurst case. Is there anybody out there familiar with the Bernard Whitehurst case? Is there anybody familiar with that? Okay, because I've been on the city council for 30 years since I have been here. Is there anybody that's familiar with the Bernard Whitehurst case? Well, Bernard was a young man who was, well, we'll get to that, was shot and killed by the Montgomery Police Department in 1975. I was headed to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and he was getting shot down in the city of Montgomery. And the thing about it, we'll get. I won't go into the whole thing right now, but one of the days, and I'm going to see if I can get Mr. Donald Watkins on with us because they shot him, and the shooting wasn't bad enough. The shooting of Mr. White wasn't bad. I know it happened a while ago, but here's the funny thing about it, and that's what they're saying in Montgomery. Well, it happened so long ago. What's funny? A woman can say that. Well, I said no back in 1972, and he said yes. And I kept saying no, but he did it anyway. 1972, and we are messing up men's lives because of some lie or some unproven fact that women bring up that you cannot prove that it happened. Okay, 1972. Okay, 50 something years ago. And look at Bill Cosby. Poor Bill. If Bill didn't have no money, Bill would be still in jail. Okay, Bill would still be in jail. Not Bill Clinton, but Bill Cosby would still be in jail. But they telling me and the argument in Montgomery is that it happened so long ago that we, why do we want to bring up? Why do we want to bring it up? Because it's about justice. And what happened was, well, I'll get to that later. I'll tell you about that case. But we're still trying to figure out, though. We got Bernard Whitehurst Jr., Stacy, his two sisters, and Florence, the wife. I mean, they just did something in this city, and that this city still owes that family. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you since it's coming up. 1975, the Montgomery Police Department had a call. At least they say they had a call. Before I get to anything else, I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now. But never mind. I'll do that later. But you want to hear this story because evidently the memory of Montgomeryans is on vacation, and the city of Montgomery, for some reason, do not want to compensate this family for what this city did. And since they are a charter, since it is charter state, okay. Oh wait, who said they're gonna win? I'm going to win, Kevin said. That's a joke for the day. Listen, I can beat Mark J. Johnson. Okay. I just can beat it. I can. Matter of fact, I can beat anybody I go against. Okay. But since I live in District 3 now, see, now probably they're gonna redo the district now and put me in somebody else's district. But I'm gonna run. But if she puts forth the ordinance about pooping, scooping, I'll leave her alone. She can be rest assured that I won't get it. I have name recognition. I can get money. So I'm just saying, just make people, when they walk through your yard, when they bring their ugly little dog in your yard, and he poops. Listen, when a brother gotta go, he gotta go. I got that part. You gotta go. When a dog or cat gotta go. But you don't have to leave what he let go in my yard. That's all I'm saying. You need to clean that stuff up. Okay, clean it up. Take it with you. Put it in the garbage can or something. I don't even care if you put it in my garbage can in a pooper scooper. Although the sanitation people probably don't really like that, but put it in the pooper scooper. They don't want to have to, smell that stuff either. So anyway, moving right along to that, I'll get into. I think probably Thursday, I will. We will talk about the Whitehurst case. Okay. Somebody said, that's right, leave me alone. Elk dog, that's right, cleaning up Montgomery one turd at a time. I'm with you. I feel that. That's what we need to do. But y'all agree with me. Y'all just can't say anything because y'all want to be politically correct. I know dogs around here are like sacred. They're like sacred people, okay? Anyway, we got on something yesterday about DEI, and it's a false premise. DEI is a false, indistinguishable premise, okay, about fairness. There is no one definition of fairness. We don't have one. Okay, I know I'm going through a lot of things, but you feel free to call and give me the what for, whatever the case may be. 521, is that what the number is? 521-2963. Now I realize when you're as brilliant as I am, it's difficult to call and have a conversation with me and try to beat me in a fact. I realize that, but I promise you, I will be easy on you. I won't be hard on you. If you make it, and I'll give you all the time in the world that you need to put forth your case. And unlike radio, it's difficult to do that because it takes commercials and stuff like that. And I'm bringing on a new sponsor next week. So I want you to know that after the holiday season, bringing on a couple of sponsors, as a matter of fact. So people are beginning to realize the greatness that I have, and they want to be part of my family, my podcast family. I appreciate that. So we're going to do that. But I'll tell you who it is next week. Okay. I'll tell you who it is next week. But anyway, how's everybody doing? Okay. How's everybody doing? So anyway, yeah. So I'm going to make one foray into into politics because I'm getting older, so I realize that I can't ain't gonna be around forever, so you got to leave a legacy. Leave a legacy of something that you've done. Make a difference. Okay. So anyway, leaving that alone. Oh, here's another thing. For folks who do not know, you cannot shoot guns in the city of Montgomery and call yourself celebrating the 4th of July. Because if you get caught on the 5th of July, you'll be in jail. And here's what the idiots don't know. When you shoot, there's a story of a man who died when they shot a bullet up in the air. It came down and hit the man on top of the head. That dog left a legacy in my yard. Come on, man. Listen, that is not funny. Really, that really isn't. That is not funny. That's not funny at all. Okay, I'm just saying. That's not funny. And the panhandlers, my lord, Mayor Reed, come on. You're not supposed to panhandle on Federal Drive, Atlanta Highway, any state highway. There's a law against it. So, and you wonder why the crime is going up. If you allow one crime, you might as well allow them all. Okay, listen, I'm as giving as the next person. Okay, and I realize, and I've been wrong too, because I realize that when we sit there and give people money, we basically contribute to the problem. We do. We contribute to the problem, and I understand that. That's why I don't do it anymore. I just don't. But I'm as sensitive and giving as the next guy is. And I must admit, when I ride, because it's ingrained in us with the spirit of the good Lord, it's ingrained in us to help the poor, even when I'm one of the poor. But we try to help. But there comes a point, the good book says, if a man don't work, he do not eat. I don't think panhandling is work. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's work. You don't sweat. The only way you sweat panhandling is that you're out there in the sun. Okay. And then I like to think, you remember on Troy Highway a couple years ago, these people would come from Atlanta and sit on Troy Highway and beg for our money. And so one day I stopped and asked the guy, I said, well, don't they have enough cars in Atlanta? Why are you here trying to get our little bit of money? I mean, going back to Atlanta, now you're taking our money from Alabama and taking it to Georgia. We're already doing that. You're already getting the lottery money because we can't get a lottery. We already have to come over there and do the lottery in Mississippi, Tennessee, and all those kind of places. I said, so why are you in Montgomery giving money? Because they know that Montgomeryans, for the most part, are God-fearing people. Most of them. Even the guys downtown in jail are God-fearing. The devil fears God too. But we try to give. We really, one thing I love about this city, there's never been a year, and I'm going to do it this year too. We're going to try to do it with the podcast. We're going to do it this year too. But we've never had a time when there was, and I want to know, and if anybody knows who some of the families who were burned out the other day, we love us in the Decisions 2.0 podcast. We'd like to help any way we can. And my audience always helps. They just always do. So we'll do that for anybody that needs help. I don't know what we can do, but we got to find out what people need, and we'll get a program going so we can help some folks. And my audience, regardless whether I've been on radio or I had a TV show one time. They fired me though because something I said. I ain't backing down from it either. But I would tell you what I said. But who wants controversy this early in the morning? Yeah, that dog did leave a legacy. And I don't want your ugly dog to leave a legacy in my yard. Okay. So again, nobody wants to pick up the phone and disagree with me. Bud, where you at? I mean, come on. I mean, and again, tell Marche that if she don't bring up this ordinance, though, I'm going to run against her because that's a district I happen to live in. I mean, I would run against Jen Wright, but yeah, he lives too far. Yeah, I can't afford that neighborhood at the moment, but one of the days I will. Oh, one more thing. Has anybody seen this? I was looking at TV last night. It's called Small Houses or Small Homes. Or what is it called? I know Jenkins was messing with Donald Jenkins was messing with this thing. It's called Small Homes or Small Houses. And I looked. That's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I need. But if I got to pay a big price for it, then forget about it. I might as well get a big house. Uh, but does anybody know who handles that small house thing? Well, I left him a message on somebody's Facebook. But I love tiny. I think and they're called tiny homes, I think, small homes, whatever they call. But it looks. You ever see one of those things? It really it's big enough for one person, maybe two. If you're old enough, you ain't trying to make no more children. It's good enough for. It's a really good home. I mean, I love those things. That's what I need. It's like getting your own hotel room with a bathroom. But I love it. That's all I need. That you get a certain age, you ain't doing that no way. You might well just, as long as you can watch TV and put a dog in there with you, you're good to go. And it's got a front door and it's got a back door. But as soon as I can get somebody to come on and talk about the small home thing, I'll do that. Now I'm supposed to have a. Let me see if he called me. I'm supposed to have a guest who's been complaining lately about the crime in Montgomery. Of course, complaining about it won't really, won't really help. It would. Okay, can we have a conversation about crime? Can we really have a conversation about crime? Seriously, can we do that? Because we all know what the biggest contributing factor to crime in the city of Montgomery, like it is all over America. Can we have a conversation about crime? Can we do that? I mean, can we really, really have the conversation? Because every time we bring up the problem, people say, "Well, that's not fair. That's not fair." Okay, okay. What? I mean, everybody knows what the biggest contributing factor to crime amongst our young men. Everybody knows what it is, but we will not say it. We won't say it because it makes people look bad. I'm not mad. Okay, but everybody knows. I mean, we know what it is, and not talking about it won't change a thing. Won't change a thing. Why do we have the crime in the city? But it's not just Montgomery. It's a cultural thing. It happens all over America, and most of the time, it happens most in towns that are ran by Democrats. Now, why do I bring that up? Why do I bring the Democrat? It's not the party. It is the people who make up the party, the workers who make up the party, not the head of the party. See, the heads of the party live in neighborhoods that are gated. They live in neighborhoods that are gated, so you just can't walk up there and steal nobody's TV. Okay, so it is not the party leaders that are the problem. It is the people who they, shall we say, attract to their philosophical principles of DEI. Oh yeah, DEI, yeah, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, and it's supposed to make life fair. The biggest lie ever told to man. Okay, the biggest lie ever told in the history of politics is that there's a thing called fairness. It's dumb. It's dumb because everybody's not going to work the same. Everybody's not going to have the same resources. That's it. The only place you find fair is on a bus, and that's when you put it in the thing, and then it's gone. Okay, so as soon as you put your fare in MTA or Montgomery Transit Authority, it's gone. So fair is a dream. Okay, it's a dream that most of the time don't happen. You know what somebody said luck is? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You have to prepare yourself for the opportunity, and then is luck. And it's an amazing thing. I hear this. It's an amazing thing. After 20 years, your success overnight. Okay, all right then. So you know, so let's okay. If we can teach our young men that life is not fair, it never will be fair. But you can prepare for the opportunities that exist. I've been looking for a radio job, right? And it's they got this website called Indeed, and I mean I scoured the country, all over the country, Massachusetts, Oregon, Seattle, because I was gonna move, right, and just go to one of those places for a job. Um, and you'll be surprised of the opportunities that are out there outside radio, that are out there for people if you are prepared for the job. And if you don't have 12 kids, you can always move from Alabama, or from Massachusetts to Alabama, whatever the case may be, and you can take advantage of some of these opportunities. But you cannot do it if you saddle yourself with a lot of responsibility when you're young. You just can't do it. But let's get back to crime. Why do we have so much crime in urban America? I mean, we all know. You just can't have but you can't have the conversation, because people get nervous about that conversation. They do. They get nervous about that conversation, and but I don't get nervous about it. Been there, done that. Was part of the problem when I was a teenager, and so that's why I know what the problem is. Okay. See, funny thing, when we grow up, right? When we grow up and nobody knows what we did when we was a teenager, then we act like we didn't do anything. Yeah, but I was a hellion. you know, I was and then you know why it was? You know why it was? Because a woman, we love them. We love them, but they cannot be a man. Now we put them in a position to be men. Often we put women, because we're not taking care of our responsibility. We put women in the position to be men. I'm with you. And some people say, listen, you don't have to be in the same house with your child to be a good dad, but you have to be involved in their life. But the deal is, the reason why we got so much crime in urban America, because of the lack of fathers, of black fathers. We just do. Not that they're not in the house, been there, done that, but because they're not involved. They're not involved. I was looking at somebody the other day said the reason why. As a matter of fact, the it was on Facebook. A guy was doing a Facebook Live today. He said her son is in all kinds of trouble, and he just looked and said, "Listen, I want to see my dad." Well, his dad is in prison. His dad is in prison, and the mother won't take him to see his father because he's in prison. I understand her apprehension about it. I do, but it is still his father, and it is a natural instinct for a child, because they're not stupid. They know it took two people to get them. Okay, and transgender people, whatever you call yourself, you can't make a baby. I'm just telling you, you can't do it. So, and she was crying and everything, but I did my best. Let the man see his father. He can teach that child something even while he's in prison. He can teach him something. Okay. And even though he did a crime, left you with the responsibility of that boy, and we appreciate the women out there that do it, because you've been put in the position to have to do it. That's unfair to you. But it is what it is. But there's no reason why she should not let him. And he was just upset about not being able to see his father. He'd never seen him. And he know he got one because he's here. So he know it took a male and a female both to get a child. Well, okay. And somebody tell the transgender people that you can't, you got to be born one or the other in order to make a child. Okay, that's the whole procreation thing. That's how it works. It works. Okay, you can't cut it off and think you're a woman, and you can't add one to think you're a man. So either way it goes, you got to be born one or the other in order to make a child. But if you're going to make that child, you have a responsibility to him. I wasn't the best father. On Father's Day, I admitted on many occasions that I made some bonehead decisions when it comes to my boys. I was just, just I thought I was right at the time, though, But funny, life teaches us that. But anyway, so what happened is that it is a problem with our young men. Okay, it is a problem with our young men, and maybe putting all these dads in jail is not the best thing, not the best system in the world. I think that as long as you like, if I'm in jail for marijuana or something like that, you know what? There's no reason in the world why at least even in the military overseas in combat, they let you get some leave, and maybe we could do something to allow some of these dads to visit their children. If they have honor. Okay. I am taking calls. If somebody calls, I'm calling. I think, is my phone working? Hey, that's not a bad idea. Panhandlers should be rounded up and required to remove poop from that's not a bad idea. Make a TV show about that. Yeah. Law and Order, Special Handling Unit, Elkins, making lawns great again. Hey, listen, I'm good with that. Let me see if my number is this thing working? Let me see. 334-521 29. No, 2963. Okay, let me see. Works? Yeah, it worked. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Okay, so it's working. Okay, I got you. I'm just checking. See, people don't want to call because I'm so brilliant, and they believe that I will make them look bad, but I won't. Okay, I'm a humble guy. Really, I am. I'm a humble. I am humble jumbo. Okay, I will. I won't do you wrong. Okay, I'll just let you. You'll be all right. Okay. So anyway, this child was complaining about never seeing his dad, and the mom said, "Well, I'm doing the best I can." Maybe he just want to see his dad. But you want to know why we got so much crime in urban cities? Because we got too much fatherlessness. We got too much dadlessness. Okay, let's get that straight. Everybody has a father, but what you don't have is a lot of dads that are no longer involved in their children's life. Okay, it's getting to the point now where we have family reunions in prisons. Family reunions in prison, and sometimes they find out their dad, that is their dad in prison, the guy in the next cell with them. So we need to do something about it. Our prison system is not doing. Putting people in prison is not helping these cities. And here's the problem: Martin Luther King said it. Your life's philosophy will determine how far you go in life. Your life's philosophy. And a philosophy that Democrats teach black folks is that it ain't your fault. The white man and the Republicans are taking everything from you. Okay. You can't get no credit to start a business because you probably were like I was when I started my little business. I had already messed up my credit, as a matter of fact. And I went down there and I just had to work a couple of years to get it fixed and get it ready to go. And I borrowed money. And I finally borrowed money. And let's not joke. There are a lot of people out there in business who look at you and figure you're not a good risk. They just look at you. That's just the way it is. Well, what you gonna do? You're gonna let them get away with that? Keep going back. And if one bank won't, there is a bank out there. There's somebody out there that's willing to help you, kind of like Hope Inspired Ministries. There's somebody out there that's willing to help you, but you got to show that you deserve the help. But getting back to the crime, And that's all part of this whole criminal aspect of our culture also, because once you get, if you're 21, 22, 23 years old and you got a credit score of 399, well, you're not going to get anything. Okay, you're just not gonna. Nobody's gonna trust you with their money, and it is their money that you want them to trust you with. So I just don't know where this woe is me. It's not my fault. It is your fault. You know, if you failed to finish high school, that's your fault. If you were such a badass in high school and you couldn't finish because you thought other things were more important, that's your fault. If you got 5 kids by 4 different women, that's your fault. That is your fault. Uh, especially if you ain't taking care of them, and it's your fault. But we can't have this conversation. The reason we got so much crime in our communities across this nation in urban Mecca is because of daddylessness, not fatherlessness. Because every child that's ever been born has a father. But what they don't have is a dad. And a dad means there's a relationship with the father and the child. That's what a father is. That's what a dad is. So everybody's got a father. So that thing about fatherlessness, that's a bunch of crap. Everybody's got a father. If you got a child, if there's a child being born in America, anywhere in the world, they got a father. But what they don't have is that relational kind of relationship with them where they become a dad. And dads will do whatever it is they need to do to make sure their child is taken care of. They may not can do all the things they want to do, but they'll try their darndest. And the only way you get that relationship, and this is where the court system, I believe, is totally wrong. The only way to get that relationship is spend that time with that child. And women, y'all got to cut it out. Y'all just got to cut it because you get another girlfriend. So what? Didn't work out with you two guys. Hey, that not a problem. Let that child's daddy, okay, see his child, because until he bonds with that child, he's not his. That child does not belong to you until you bond with him. Other than that, all you are is a kid. Not my kid, not their kid, just a kid. And we, for some reason, we haven't figured that out yet. We just haven't figured it out yet, that you have to bond with a child in order for them to become yours. And I'm gonna tell you something, ladies. If you allow that man to bond with that child, you don't have to go downtown to no court. And if he won't bond with his child, then he needs to go to jail. But if he won't do it, he needs to go to jail. But if that man bonds with his child, I guarantee there are a lot of fathers out there will hurt you over their child, and I'm one of them. Okay, you once you bond with them, that bond, you can't break it. You just cannot break it. The courts don't see that. And if you don't have a job, first of all, if you're not taking care of your child, you say you ain't got no job, then let the child stay with you. Then you got to figure out how to feed them. Okay, and then you'll bond that way. I'm just saying, without a bond, and some people will probably disagree with me, but without a bond, you're not really. All you are is a father. We need dads. We need dads to have that bonding process with their children, and we would see the crime in our communities go down. We really would. And the reason why I'm telling you, I know these things because it's happening all over America. Because the Democrats want you to be, and I'm just calling the way it is. The Democrats want you to be dependent upon government. I mean, they always got another program they want to bring forward. Well, the problem with programs is this. Ronald Reagan said that if you have a program big enough to give somebody, you also can take it away. Okay, like everybody's whining now about Medicaid, Medicare, or whatever the case may be, and about poor people. Listen, I do believe that the state of Alabama should extend whatever they were trying to do in Medicaid. Because at first I understood the opposition to it. the opposition to it was, if we put all these people on Medicaid when Obama was in, and then all of a sudden, is it Medicaid, Medicare, whatever one is for the young folks, is that if you put all these people on Medicaid and for the first 5 years, the government pays. But the second 5 years, they only pay half of what they were paying. So what does that mean? That means that the state will have to come up with the other half. And so there will be people arbitrarily moved off of it anyway, because the state's not going to pick up the whole burden. So, that made sense to me. That made sense. Okay, well, let's not do that, because we're going to put the state in debt in order to get the Medicaid, whatever that, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever. So the state said, whoa. So you're going to give me money for 5 years to take the 100 people. But after 5 years, you're going to say, well, I'm only going to give you money for 50. So where does the other 50, where do I get money for the other 50 people? And that was there. But here's also, I changed my mind about it. I could understand that made logical and reasonable sense to me, to not give it, to not depend on the government, to only give you half, just to leave you high and dry in 5 years. And you'll still have people on it, but you can't afford them, so you'll be dumped. But here's where we miss in that logic. Here's where we missed the boat. What if for those 5 years you cure 50 of those people? Okay. You get the money. And the second 5 years, even though you only got half the money, what if you have cured the people and now you can still afford to cure the other ones, because you don't have as many now as you did? So it was a bad move on Alabama's part, I believe, and I'm not the governor and all that, but it was a bad move, because we could have took the money and helped some people who may have been cured or whatever, take whatever a problem that they had medically and things of that nature. So we made a mistake. And somebody in the House of Representatives or the state Senate or the governor should say, we made a mistake. We should have taken the money, because either way it goes, somebody would have been covered. Whether it's temporarily or not, somebody would have been covered. Okay. And I understand the numbers, and that's where Republicans catch hell from poor people and black people, because they look at the numbers. The numbers mean the numbers do mean something. The numbers mean that we can only take 50 when we know we got 100. That's what the numbers mean. Well, poor people say, well, give me half. Half a loaf is better than no loaf. Okay, so I'm just telling you, and the Republicans look at numbers. The Democrats look at emotions, and emotionally, I can understand what they're saying. I can understand what they're saying. That give me half is better than nothing. So if you will pay for a prescription for medicine that is I don't know, $100, okay, and you'll pay 50, well, then I'll take half the medicine. That's better than not getting any at all. That's better than not getting any medicine at all. And when we turned down the expansion, we left a lot of people out there who couldn't get anything. So the Democrats are not always wrong. Okay, most of the time they are, but not always. Okay, not always. And the Democrats seem to be wrong. I mean, the Republicans seem to be wrong, not always, because they look at numbers sometimes rather than people. And I feel you. Those numbers represent people. I feel you on that. But there's got to be somebody said, let's split it down the middle. Okay, let's split it down the middle. Okay, so therein lies one of the biggest problems for Democrats and Republicans. Democrats are emotional about issues sometimes, and Republicans are too strict by the numbers. But you understand why both of them feel the way they do. You understand that because they both are right. They both are right. But how can that be? But they are. Sometimes empathy is better than sympathy. But if you are empathetic about somebody's problem, then that brings you closer. Who's the black movie maker right now? He's got a movie out right now that's absolutely you want to know what being poor is in America and working your butt off and trying to make ends meet. Look at this movie by Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry has a movie called Straw. And what it is, it's the last straw. A lady who plays her name is PJ or TJ or Henson or whatever. Great movie. Because normally I don't watch his movies because there's always some guy dressed up in the dress and stuff like that. And so I don't watch them. We got enough homosexuality around here. We don't need to be promoting. But however, this movie, it's so real, so realistic. And then if you ever want to know with realism what it's like to be poor, to be working hard and still not making it. See, we all know somebody, but you watch this movie called Straw, and I'm telling you, it'll change your perspective. It is the realest movie I've ever seen about someone who was struck. She had a little girl, someone who's working there but not lazy, getting up every morning, going to work, her and her daughter living in a one-room apartment. I'm telling you, you really want to look at this movie. It's called Straw. And you need to look at that movie, and then you'll understand, and you'll get it. And to my Republican friends, then you'll understand what it's really like to be. I've never seen a movie this real. Because looking at this movie, there's not a person out here that's poor that could not identify with this movie. It is some. I'm telling you, and normally I don't like Tyler Perry movies. I don't. But he hit an Oscar with this one, and it's called Straw. I don't know if it's on Netflix, if it's at the movies or wherever it is, but it is a fantastic representation of what it's like to try to survive when you think you can't. Okay, now I got to take a break. I forgot about that. I've been talking so long today on so many things. And again, if you want to call, you can do that, 521-2963, 521-2963. Have you seen Straw? Have you seen the movie with Tyler Perry in it? With Tyler Perry's not in it, but I tell you what, you need to see it. If you get an opportunity to see it, you need to see it. And I don't normally promote movies and stuff like that, but it is an outstanding. That's right. Her name is Taraji Henson, P. Henson. Outstanding movie. And you can text me if you want to. If you can't, I realize if you can't, but what's my number? 922-3030. If you don't want to be online, a lot of people don't want to have their face online and stuff like that. I can understand that. Okay. But anyway, got to take a break, but we'll be back. I'm just telling you, if you can ever find out where that movie is playing, and you'll walk out of there with a deep appreciation, because everybody who's not working is not lazy. Everybody who's not working, who getting a little assistance, is not trying to get over on the system. Okay, everybody who does, life happens and it puts us in situations that we have to fight our way out of. Okay, but it's called Straw, STRAW, Straw. We'll be back right after this, but you need to see that movie. I'm telling you, you'll come back next week and say, man, that was a good movie. Anyway, gotta take a break. We'll be back right after. I gotta take a pause for the calls. Okay, gotta go get a cup of coffee, get some toast, put some butter on the toast, and fry me some bologna right quick. All this in like 3 minutes. Okay, so that's why we got microwaves. So we'll be back. Okay, that was a like a short break. Good evening, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, morning. Sometimes I don't know what type of day it is. Sometimes around here. Anyway, also, we let's not us forget, and we sent out our condolences to the family of the young lady Diamond Moore, who talk about violence in the hood, who needlessly, needlessly lost her life because our young folks want to go out there and shoot guns. Um, uh, and I guarantee you, when they find out who it is, it's going to be somebody whose father is certainly uh, not involved in their life. I mean, you can't be. I mean, you just can't be have a father, have a dad in your life, and do stupid stuff like this. And I hope they catch the people who ran their car. They ran their car, the truck, into a place in Pike Road. So y'all moved to Pike Road thinking that y'all was gonna get away from. No. Somebody, a guy went to the bank one day, right? And he robbed the bank, and then somebody said, "Well, why did you rob the bank?" He said, "Because that's where the money is." Okay, so y'all can move out of Montgomery if you want to, but we'll just find you. We'll find where you are. Okay, I'm just saying. But anyway, at least 100 balloons yesterday were released the other day in the sky to honor the 13-year-old Diamond, a young lady who barely had a chance to live. Again, the violence in our communities, the violence, and that violence can be attributed to, can be attributed to directly not having dads, not fathers. Everybody, if you born, you got a father, but not having dads. I wish there was an organization around here that had the political power to change the way our court systems treat fathers. Okay, and women learn that, yeah, children have to eat. We got that part, and you need money, but more than money, they need a dad. Okay, and a dad that loves his children because he's bonded with them will move heaven and earth to make sure he at least is doing the best he can. Okay, I mean, I'm just they will, and even if he isn't doing all the money, still let him see his child, because you cannot love your child without becoming a dad. That dog just ain't gonna hunt. I'm just telling you that, like the folks say, that dog ain't gonna hunt. Uh, Anyway, the numbers here, if you want to give us a call, 521-2963. What, nobody wants to talk today? Am I so brilliant today until I'm saying everything that you would? I'm just saying. Maybe that's what it is. I probably am. I'm just I'm still the smartest guy on the radio. But since this ain't radio, I'll say podcasting in Montgomery. Okay. Now, here's something that somebody talked about yesterday. The president said we got too many holidays. And I don't necessarily disagree with him. He said we got too many holidays. Uh, we spend more time, especially the state of Alabama. He must have been down here. They spend more time not working than they do working around here. And then got the unmitigated gall to want a paycheck. So he said we got too many holidays. So my good friend Tony Knight says these are the holidays that we need to get rid of. Now, I'm going to tell you which one I think he's wrong about. But President Trump said we got too many holidays. I don't necessarily disagree. But here's a list that Tony Knight put on Facebook, the ones we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of George Washington Day. I don't know. He was the first president of the United States. But do we need to make a holiday out of it? I'll let others decide that. Columbus Day. Well, I'm kind of with that one. I mean, America was here before Columbus got here. And just because he accidentally ran into it, we should we don't need to give him a holiday, but we gave him one. Robert E. Lee. Now my thing about the Robert E. Lee thing is this. Robert E. Lee evidently was a good general. Now, evidently, he was a Confederate general, I'm with you on that one. But at the time, those people thought they were fighting for what they believed also. Clint Eastwood had a movie a couple of years ago called Letters from Iwo Jima, where we got World War II from the perspective of the Japanese. Um, and it was an interesting movie. And what you find is that if you got two soldiers laying on the ground, you can look in both their pockets and grab their wallet, and they have families. They love their families. They want to get back home to their families. But to the victor gets to tell the story. Now, it was a doggone shame what they did in December 7, 1941, attacking Pearl Harbor. But people like the privates, the sergeants, the lieutenants, we don't run the military. We just follow orders. Private listen to the sergeant listen to the first sergeant listen to the CO listen to the battalion commander listen to the brigade commander, and the brigade commander listen to the division commander. Everybody got a boss. Okay, I mean, we don't, you need a military. Okay, so I don't know, but Robert E. Lee, I had a problem with it. The problem I got with Alabama is that we start mixing holidays together. Jefferson Davis Day, I could have probably did without that one. Now, here's one I disagree with: Independence Day. Well, why wouldn't we want Independence Day? I mean, that's a day because that represents the sacrifice of a lot of people who lie in the roads of Arlington Cemetery and all over the world, from Italy to Vietnam to Grenada to Somalia, all over the world. Our young men have shed blood. So no, we're gonna keep Independence Day. Okay, we're gonna do that. Juneteenth. Well, I don't care about Juneteenth because we don't. We call it Juneteenth because we don't know which day it happened. Okay, so I don't really care about Juneteenth. I mean, you can't go back and undo what happened. It just won't happen. So I'm not really all that upset about Juneteenth being gotten rid of. But now here's one that he wants to get rid of that I'll fight him for this one. Thanksgiving Day. Everybody needs to be thankful for something. Everybody needs to be thankful for something. Whatever your belief system is, you need to be thankful for that. But I don't want to get rid of, well, okay. We may not need to name days after people. Okay, because none of those people did it by themselves. George Washington didn't do it by himself. Christopher Columbus didn't do it by himself. Robert E. Lee didn't do it by himself. Jefferson Davis didn't do it by himself either. But Thanksgiving Day and Independence Day, you know what? Yeah, we need those two. Too many people sacrifice. And pretty much that celebrates the sacrifice of all of those people. But everybody needs to be thankful. Okay? Yeah, I know. Okay, oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Independence Day was the Caucasian Freedom Day from his father clans in Europe. Well, listen, I listen. You may be right. Okay. So, but let each man in his own heart celebrate Independence Day the way he pleases. One thing about it, we all live in a country, and I've been to a few of them. I've been to a few countries. We live in a country that has the most freedom than any other country I've ever been in. Okay. So somebody for 250 years has fought, bled, and died for the idea of an independent America. So yeah, I don't have a problem with Independence Day, regardless of who came up with it, and Thanksgiving Day. Other than that, I don't really get into Christmas very much. If you got kids or things like that nature, okay, right on for the kids. But once you grow up, though, you put away childish things, and so I think we don't. Yeah, we don't need. We don't need Christmas, but we do need Thanksgiving, because if you're not thankful, then you got a problem. Okay, if you think you did all this by yourself, you got a problem. I'm with Barack Obama on this one. Well, you didn't do all that by yourself. Somebody helped you, whether seen or unseen. Somebody helped you, and you should be thankful for that. So Thanksgiving Day, let's keep, and let's keep Independence Day. But all the rest of these stupid holidays that we have, we got and Memorial Day. Okay, but he didn't have them. But these are the ones he said we we should get rid of. We should get rid of George Washington Day, Columbus Day, Robert E. Lee Day, Jefferson Davis Day, and Juneteenth. Yeah, for that, I don't have a problem with that. That's not a big deal. Okay, I'm just good. Anybody disagree? Again, the numbers here are 521-2963. Well, at least let me know if my phone's working. I mean, some of y'all can call just to say hi or something. I just got to make sure my phone is working, and so I know I ain't talking to myself. Okay, I mean, I just, can y'all just call? Of course, because we are on a visual. We are on a visual thing, aren't we? So anyway, make a TV show. Oh, okay. Here, okay. So the phone does work. Okay, that's good. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
That's good. That's good. That's good. Personally, I think great show, man. First of all, personally, I think Donald Trump just need to leave that type of conversation alone. Seriously. I voted for Trump.
Yeah.
But I think there's some things that he just need to just,
it ain't in his wheelhouse,
just leave alone,
right? It ain't in. Listen, I agree. I agree with you. Handle U.S. business.
Just let that be, man.
Yeah.
Stop bringing up these controversial topics, holidays, this and that. I'm quite sure. Again, I voted for Trump.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure if someone said, "Hey, let's name a holiday after Trump," after he's gone, I doubt very seriously that he would
say no.
That.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't say no.
Yeah. I think you just need to stay away from a lot of stuff.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah. So all right. But great show.
All right. I appreciate you. Okay, that's all. I just want to make sure the phone was working. Okay. Yeah, I agree with him. Maybe that's not in his wheelhouse. Worry about the big things. Let us worry about the small things. Okay. Let us worry about the small things. Okay. Anyway, did anybody hear about a young man in Homewood, Alabama, was shot once in the back? They say he was not armed. The lawyer says Arbari Peoples, 18 years old of Aliceville, wherever that is, was fatally shot by police in the Homewood Soccer Park on June the 23rd, a few days ago. 7 days ago, the attorney for the family of Aliceville teen fatally shot by Homewood police said Jabari Peoples was shot once in the back. Now, I don't understand why you would shoot a young man in the back. I don't. That one. I mean, you can't even shoot somebody when somebody's running away from you. They are not presenting an imminent threat to you at that particular time. Not knowing the particulars of the case, but I know if you and I shot somebody in the back, we would be handled. I mean, because at that time, when a person has their back towards you, they're not a threat to you. And so I don't know how that's going to work out. But anyway, based on a preliminary findings, I can now confirm that Jabari was shot once in the back, Maxwell said. The revelation is consistent with the eyewitness accounts in Homewood. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how that works out. I don't perceive. He was a graduate from 2024, graduate of Aliceville High School, who worked as a security guard at DCH Regional Medical Center. He loved the idea of law enforcement and wanted to work in law enforcement at some point. He was a student. He was beloved. He was kind. He was respectful, Maxwell said. There is nothing I've seen to counter the narrative whatsoever. He was an 18-year-old with a bright future, he said. He has no history whatsoever of being disrespectful of law enforcement. So we'll find out, like my good friend Dan Morris would say, in the fullness of time, we'll find out. But I don't. And before anybody get all upset and all these things, let us find um, let us find out what happened. That's all I can say. Let us find out what happened. Although shooting somebody in the back, eh, that's an. I mean, you're not a threat to anybody, when you shoot people in the back. Did anybody see what happened in Kentucky the other day? And I'm in Somerset, Kentucky. What happened was is that is that a proper grammar? What happened was. I mean, they say it on TV all the time. What happened was, okay, so I'm thinking I'm using that too. More than 35,000 people watched a recreation of a General Lee replica from the 1979 show, The Dukes of Hazzard, jump over a fountain in Somerset, Kentucky. The car soared in the air. I watched it in the town fountain, over the town fountain, something like what's downtown Montgomery, right? Before landing, crashing into the barricades in Somerset, Kentucky. I guess they didn't have a whole lot to do in Somerset, Kentucky, But I got to tell you, I would have watched it. Yeah, I would have watched it just to see if he crashed. Kind of like when people go to NASCAR. First of all, let's be real here. Nobody watches racing to see who wins. Okay, can we agree on that? People watch racing to see who crashes. Okay, it's not a good race unless somebody runs into the wall. Okay, that's because to watch cars go left for 3 hours. Really? No. You are waiting for somebody to crash. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest. And if you are one of them people that actually go to the NASCAR because you want to see who wins the race, well, you're probably one of those people who believe that wrestling is real. you probably believe that Hulk Hogan and Mr. Wrestling #1 and Mr. Wrestling #2, which I love me some Mr. Wrestling #1 back in the day, in the 70s. But y'all probably believe that wrestling is real. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to get a checkup from the neck up, so you realize that wrestling is not real, and neither is. I mean, NASCAR's cool, but I know you're not waiting. You're not gonna watch cars go left for 2 hours because you just want to see the cars go left. No, you want somebody to crash. Can we be honest? Can we please be honest with that? Okay, please. Okay, you're not waiting for anybody. And so the other day, I would have watched this race too. I love General Lee. Okay, uh, having lived in Georgia for a little while back in the 1970s, I got to tell you the story how I found out how I ended up in Georgia. It's long, and it was a father thing. It was because I had only seen my dad one time in my whole life, and I know he was from Rome, Georgia. So one day I left home and I ran away from home, and I'm going to see my daddy. Now, when you're 16 years old, you don't really know, you don't really know what's going on, you know. So I show up in Rome, Georgia. I get a Greyhound bus ticket, and I said, I'm going to Rome. So I go to Rome, Georgia. Had never been outside South Bend, but I'm going. I'm going down to Rome, Georgia, and that's how I ended up in talk radio in Alabama, because I left home going to Rome, Georgia, and then got there, found out my dad had been dead for 8 years. I only seen him one time. So it matters about fathers. It matters about dads. It really does. It really matters. I'm going to replay this show. This was outstanding conversation today, even though y'all don't want to call, but that's okay. I'm giving you some good wisdom today out of my experience of living. Okay, I'm just saying that's what it is. The numbers here again are 521-29 2963. 521-2963. Okay. You can text me 922-3030. 922-3030. Moving on to some other things that have happened. But I can't believe 35,000 people watch that thing. And don't forget, fireworks are not legal for your personal firing of those things. Because last night, and for the last couple of nights, I've been hearing people shoot out here. I'm just hoping nothing comes through the window. So every time I get it down in the prone position and get on the floor, next to the baseboard. So people are shooting guns all the time. I wonder, can you, listen, if y'all want to shoot guns, go join the Foreign Legion. I mean, you can shoot guns. You can shoot guns all over the world. Okay. No verdict on the first day of the jury deliberation of Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking. I mean, he's gonna get found guilty. He's gonna get found guilty. I don't know whether he did sex trafficking or not, but he beat that woman in a elevator, in a hallway, with a towel on his butt. I mean, come on, man. If you're going to beat up somebody, don't do it in cameras. I mean, especially a woman. Come on. See, I'd put him in jail just for that. Some people got money. They think they are just above everything else. Come on, man. Anyway, now here's a story right here. This is going to be probably my last story of the morning. What would you do if you was married to a woman for 51 years? 51 years. You had two sons. Right now, today, one is 42 and one is 40. What would you do after 51 years of marriage? You found out that the boys wasn't yours. Wait a minute. That's not even bad. The boys are not his, and he's still taking care of them. Now he ain't got much sense itself. At 42 and 40, you are still taking care of your kids? Really? Okay. So I'd stay there too. But then he's trying to get a kidney for his brother, right? He's trying to find a kidney for his brother, so he used one of his kids. Ooh, I must have got up too early. For his kids. And then after doing all the tests, he finds that the kids are not his. But he's been married to this woman for 51 years. What would you do? What would you do? I know what I would do. I just said hell with it. But what I would do on that day, they still live with him. I'd go home and put him out. Yeah, put him out. You need to get a job. I'm not taking care of anymore. You're 42 years old and 40. I thought only women did that. He's taking care of these two kids who are just lazy. I mean, you're 42 and 40, and you're not even mine. When I get home, your stuff is gonna be on the street. As a matter of fact, I may put her with him. But I mean, really, why would a woman do that? I mean, did she really? No. I can understand her. Maybe one of them wasn't his. I can understand that because maybe they was messing around when they was younger and stuff like that. Those things happen. But two of them? Oh no, we wouldn't. No, they yeah. At least I'd go and put the boys out. Why would you take care of two men, 42 and 40? Why would you do that? Why would somebody do that? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Manuel is 34 years old. I ain't taking care of nobody. And Z is be 19 in a couple of months. What is it? July, October, November, July, September. Yeah, in 90 days he'll be 19. So we through the taking care of thing. All right, now let's talk about something that poor folks always talk about. Poor folks always talk about rich people. Right? They always talk. Rich people don't pay no taxes. Rich people don't pay this, and rich people don't do that. Okay. Well, today's lesson will be who pays the taxes in America. Okay. That is the lesson of today. Since y'all really believe that rich people don't pay taxes, the top 1.4% of people pay 20.3% of all the taxes in America. The top 0.1% pay 21% of the taxes. The top 1% pay 25% of the taxes in America. That's right. Okay. They pay it. So when we say the rich people don't pay taxes, we're not trying to, they may not pay income taxes because they put their money in certain kinds of uh, accounts and things of that nature. The bottom 90 to 95%, which is the percent I'm in. I think that's the percent I'm in. Pay 10.4% of the taxes in America. Okay. The bottom 80 to 90% pay 13% of the taxes in America. Okay. But the bottom 50% of people pay 8.6% of the taxpayers. Okay. So the top 5% of taxpayers in America are the rich people. And they're also the ones. So I don't have a problem with rich people. I like rich people. As a matter of fact, I wish I had some more rich friends. Then I can go borrow some money from them. So can we just, just because Trump didn't pay income tax doesn't mean that they don't pay taxes. They just don't pay taxes the way we poor folks pay taxes. We pay income tax. Okay. They don't necessarily pay the same taxes that we pay, but they do pay. People don't, well, Trump ain't paid these kind of taxes. Well, there's a law that he did not make, but he's certainly taken advantage of it, and I will. If you lose a certain amount of money, you have 5 years in order to disperse those payments. Okay. And hopefully, if you're smart within those 5 years, your tax accountant will figure out a way to help you get out of that too. But so can we stop with the rich people don't pay taxes? Yes, they do. And rich people hire people to do work for them. Okay, so I can pay some taxes. I wish he'd pay me a little bit more, so I may. But then if he pays me more, I gotta pay more. It's a con. It's a bad deal for all of us. Okay, it's a bad deal. Kind of like owning a house. A house is the only thing I know of that you never get done paying for. Never. Even when you get the deed in your hand, you actually still got to pay tax. Now, they say once you get a certain age, you're not supposed to pay. I think I'm at that age by now, though. Yeah, maybe I should go check that out. That you shouldn't have to pay tax. But as soon as you die, somebody else can be paying taxes on the same piece of land. And I've often wondered. I don't know who came up with this idea. Now, I want y'all to think of this for a second. I don't know who came up with this idea of selling land. See, I thought that you can only sell things that you own, things that you created. You didn't create land. So what makes any government think they have a right for you to pay them taxes on land? Matter of fact, now here's what I do believe, that the government should be responsible for the distribution of the land, but not selling me land. Why am I paying taxes on something that none of us built? Now, I can understand paying taxes on things that we build on the land, but why am I paying taxes on land? I mean, God made the land. Land was here for you. I mean, if we're gonna pay taxes to anybody, it's the good Lord. Why pay taxes to you? I mean, I could see. So I came up with an idea that will solve this problem. Now you're going to see where my brilliance came from. Now you're going to see why I'm so bright. Here's the solution to the problem. Everybody born in America should get a credit card, a debit card with $1 million on it. Everybody that's born should get a debit card with $1 million on it. Sound like a Democrat idea, right? Oh, hold up. Out of that $1 million, that's all the money you will ever get from the government. There will be no welfare. There'll be no food stamps. There'll be none of that stuff. You got to survive on your $1 million for your whole life. Now, believe it or not, there are people who live to be 60, 70, 80 years old, never seen $1 million. So don't tell me it can't be done. So everybody gets $1 million, and then we all start out equal. Now, here's the problem with that scenario. Because people are who they are, what's going to happen is that we are going to find somebody who are going to get scammed out of their $1 million. Then so the guy who has $1 million now got $3 million because the people who he gave that money to too stupid to figure out what to do with it. But however, we all started. Now, if you want to talk about the ultimate DEI, well, that's it. That's the ultimate DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. If we all started, everybody born in America gets $1 million. Hey, I will run for president on that. I'll be like a Trumpster. I will run for president on that. Everybody gets $1 million for your whole life. Okay. Any extra money you get, you got to get a job. Okay. Because some of you guys will probably be broke by the time you're 3. Okay. I'm just saying you may be broke by the time you're 3. I'm not saying, but for the minor kids, their parents will be in charge of their money. Okay. Parents will be in charge of their money. And if they waste their money, then they go to jail. Okay. So I'm just thinking, now that's a DEI program I can handle. Yeah. Everybody that's born gets $1 million debit card. Oh, I'm running for president on that one. I would get a whole lot of votes. I mean, all the money we're giving away, I don't know how much money, if everybody in America got $1 million, there's 330 million people in America. Okay. So I don't know how much money that is. I'll have to do it on the calculator here and figure out how much money that is. How many billions of dollars is that? Okay, let me see now. Where's my calculator at? I'm saying how much money that is. It's probably gonna have more zeros than I know how to do. Okay, so $330 million. Okay. All righty then. Times 1 million. Okay, equals, okay, way too many zeros for me. I don't know. What does that say? What is that? What kind of number is that? Anybody know what kind of number that is? Yeah, I can't figure out what, I could not. Okay, so 330 million times $1 million. The number's so big that they put a numeral in there. Okay then. I don't know. But we'll figure that out later on. Okay, so I have solved the poverty problem. Oh man, I gotta go. I have solved the poverty problem. You got money to go to school, you got money to invest, and you got money to lose. I'm just saying. Okay. Well, these 2 hours go by fast in the morning. Man, I should be a professor somewhere. Anyway, listen, I gotta let you guys go later, but we're gonna replay this later on so you guys can get the benefit of my wisdom. Okay, so y'all hang loose, hang loose. Hopefully the good Lord says the same. I'll be back tomorrow. And hopefully I'll have a guest, either here or online, either or. We'll see ya. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Yeah. I need some bologna. I need a bologna sandwich with the bologna halfway burnt. Bologna's the only thing you can eat. Bologna's the only thing you can eat burnt and it tastes good. Hey, what's up?
Hey, just answer to your question, man. That's $200 trillion.
Well, that's what really? You sure? So $1 million times 330.
According to Alexa. Okay, according to Alexa.
Okay then. I'll have to verify that. Anyway, I gotta go. So you guys take it easy. We shall return hopefully tomorrow. See ya.